Greetings and welcome, ladies and gents. I'm the Super Gamer, and since we've spent a lot of time going into unexplored territory for me so far this season, I figured why not go back to something a bit more familiar. Portal 2. But hey, I'm not doing this review alone. Everyone, please welcome to the show, Daniel T.
Hello everybody, I am a commentary, gaming, and music-related YouTuber. If you want to subscribe to my channel, my link will be on both the end cards and in the description below.
So about a year ago, I took a look at Portal for the PC created by Valve, and I thought it was one of the most creative PC games of all time. So, how does Portal 2 stack up in comparison? Let's find out.
With that said, this is Portal 2.
A long time after the events in Portal 1, where GLaDOS was defeated and Aperture Science was left to rot, Shell wakes up in a stasis chamber looking like a hotel room. She does her exercises for a bit and falls back to sleep. The next day, when she wakes up, she hears a voice coming from the door.
Shell is greeted to Wheatley, a personality core from Aperture Science who's played by Stephen Merchant. Wheatley helps Shell break into basically a replica of the first Richard Center for the first game, and I call that a replica because there are some chambers in the game that are different compared to the original. Anyways, they break into the Richard Center for the first game and come across another Aperture Science handheld portal device, or as it's more commonly known as in both the game and in the real world, the portal gun.
Shell and Wheatley come across the corpse of GLaDOS and accidentally bring her to life. Obviously, she's ticked at you and dumps you into the chest chambers to continue testing. Now, the next part of the story could be considered a spoiler for something very early on, so we're gonna have two spoiler sections just in case. With that said...
Spoiler alert!
After going through many new tests that the game throws at us, Shell's rescued by Wheatley again, as they go down to the restricted area of the facility and get rid of two of GLaDOS' favorite things to use, turrets and neurotoxin. They once again meet GLaDOS, except they put GLaDOS' AI in a potato and replace Wheatley inside the big body.
Just when you think you are freed, Wheatley suddenly turns evil, as it's revealed that Wheatley was a tumor that scientists put in GLaDOS to limit her abilities. Wheatley gets ticked and punches Cell and company into the underground ruins of Aperture Science. There, they hear voice recordings of the founder of Aperture Science, Cave Johnson, voiced by the amazing J.K. Simmons.
And now, it's up to Shell and GLaDOS to take back the facility and get rid of Wheatley's evil doings for good.
Overall, the story is a big setup for the last game, going further into detail about the backstory of Aperture Science and how it led to what it is today. And that's exactly what a good sequel should do.
This is honestly one of the most original stories I've ever seen. For the first time, we get to see an antagonist becoming a protagonist and a protagonist becoming an antagonist. This has never really happened before in this kind of game. I also love how we get to go through the first few chambers of the first game, because it just goes to show that this is definitely a true sequel to the original game. Now, even though this game is great and all, there are a couple problems with the story. First of all, in the dialogue, Wheatley calls Shell a he when explaining GLaDOS getting killed in the first game. Shouldn't he be a robot? Shouldn't he already have it in his data and memory that the person who killed GLaDOS in the first game was a female? Also, how can Wheatley go from technically being crushed by GLaDOS at the end of the first chapter to being completely fine and being on a rail in chapter 3? How does that make any sense?
Graphically, Portal 2 is once again a big step up from its predecessor. The atmospheric levels of this game's presentation are off the charts, with a soundtrack that legitimately sends chills down my spine. The voice acting is also great, and there's a lot more of it this time around, from old favorites like Ellen McLean as GLaDOS, to new voices like Stephen Merchant as Wheatley, Nolan North as the different cores and defective turrets, and of course, J.K. Simmons, who even gets his own angry moment.
Alright, I've been thinking. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade.
Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these?
Take the lemons.
Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons. I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
Finding people. He says what we're all thinking.
For 2011 standards, the graphics here are absolutely amazing. I honestly love the shading and detail that goes into the graphics in this game. It's kind of shocking for Valve to pull this off because when you think about it, this kind of shading never really existed in 2011 if you really get down into thinking about it. So seeing this kind of shading in Portal 2 is just brilliant.
For those who have never played Portal 1 and is for some reason watching this instead of watching my review of the first game like you should, here's how it works. You have a portal gun that can make an orange portal and a blue portal. These portals are used to solve the many puzzles in your path, whether it be putting blocks on switches or pointing lasers in the right direction.
We also get to have several new additions to the Portal gameplay that are stable to the series. First, we got Repulsion and Propulsion Gel. Propulsion Gel makes you go fast, and Repulsion Gel makes you jump higher. Next, there's Excursion Funnels and Hardlight Bridges. Excursion Funnels gravitate you away from certain areas, while Hardlight Bridges are bridges created from light that can stop turrets and bullets. We also got these new things called Aerial Faith Plates, which launch you high in the air. These are honestly one of my favorite gameplay mechanics to use in Portal 2.
I personally think that all these new additions make for some very fun and brain-exercising puzzles. There's even a co-op mode that's pretty fun, though I will be looking at that separately at a later date. Sorry.
I have to say, Valve really nailed it with the gameplay in this game. There's a lot of variety to it, and the aesthetics, all the things that you can do in the game. It's truly amazing, and it goes to show how complex they wanted Portal 2 to be compared to the first game.
And now it's time for the spoiler section.
Ah, spoiler alert.
After making it through Cave Johnson's tests, you find out that GLaDOS is an AI version of a real-life human being named Carolyn, who was also Cave Johnson's assistant. You make your way back to the chest chambers to find that Wheatley has been making the place unstable and will blow up in a matter of time.
After getting through Wheatley's puzzles, you find him by putting defective cores in him, causing him to turn corrupt for extraction.
Now, in my Portal 1 review, I said that the final boss was incredibly underwhelming. This boss, however, is the exact opposite. This is a great boss. Wheatley makes sure to do everything that GLaDOS didn't do in the first game, like shielding himself and shooting bombs at you. And the shields will be in different places each time, so you need to look for his new weak point each time.
After Shell gets knocked down onto the floor, she shoots a portal right onto the frickin' moon, which is placed directly up to the roof that was going to fall. And Wheatley is banished to outer space, with GLaDOS saving you. She thanks you for all you've done, and she grants you with something that you were supposed to be promised for at the end of Chapter 5, the freedom. If you want my opinion, this is probably the saddest ending to any kind of game ever, because if you really think about it, when you go back to play this game after not playing the Portal games for so long, you start to feel this emotion, like these games are like a part of you. Like me, I really love these Portal games from the bottom of my heart, so seeing this ending really got me in that kind of upsetting, choked mood, like it really choked me a bit.
As the elevator ascends, many turrets sing you a beautiful opera song, and you are set out in the real world with a companion cube. As the credits roll, GLaDOS sings a new song called Want You Gone. And I don't know about you, Daniel, but I like this song more than Still Alive, honestly. Finally, we see Wheatley in space saying how he would take it all back if he could. Overall, Portal 2 does exactly what a good sequel should do, refreshing what was great about the original, while also adding new things to make this one of the best puzzle games I've ever played, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
There are a couple flaws with the game, but if you want my opinion, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 anyway, because this game, oh my god, this game is truly mind-blowing.
Until then, I'm the Super Gamer, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!